Hi everybody, this is Crystal. So today I'm going to show you how to make this little toddler sailor dress. It's got the, I'm going to move the camera, the sailor type collar in the front and in the back. Okay. You're going to need 5 buttons. You can use any type of button that you want. These are 5/8 inch buttons. So you could use those, because that's what size I use. Maybe even a little bit bigger would work too, but I used the 5/8 inch. Now you can crochet a bow. What I got from Walmart in the baby section was these hair bows. And they were just $1 a piece, and they have a clip. And I clip mine right on after my daughter already had this on, but I clip it right on like that, tuck the collar under it, and that's how mine looks. Now, like I said, these were just $1 a piece. I got red and white because I didn't know which one I wanted to use. But you can make your own bow with the ribbon. This ribbon's probably 1.5 inches thick, or you can crochet your own. But that's what I did. It just clips right on. And then also, you're going to need, I'm going to move this out of the way. I used Care On Simply Soft, which is a medium weight 4-ply 100% acrylic. The color I used is called Dark Country Blue, and there's just a little over 300 yards in a skein. Yeah, 315, and that is all I have left of the second skein. So you're going to need a good 620 yards probably for the size that I'm doing. The size I made is for 2T. Now you can adjust the size by using a different hook. For my size T, I used a size G, which is a 4.25 millimeter crochet hook. Now you can use the same pattern for a 3T. You can use a 5 millimeter hook, which is an H. I would suggest though you making it maybe about 3 to 4 rows longer for a 3T, and of course you're gonna need more yarn than what I said. And you can also, this is big enough to, you could use it for a 4T. I would use a 5.5 millimeter, and then again you're gonna have to make it probably 5 or 6 rows longer than what it is, maybe even a little bit longer. If you have the child, it'd be better, you know, to adjust. If you could try it on. But other than that, up here it's all going to be the same. It's going to fit all those sizes quite well, because you know with crochet it's kind of, you know, they can wear it a long time. It's really adjustable, and you'll need more buttons too if you make it for a longer one. But what I'm saying is the pattern that I'm getting ready to show you that I used for 2T, I used a G 4.25. If you want to make it for a 3T, you can add a few extra rows. Same pattern, just add a few extra rows and use an H 5 millimeter, and you can even use this, I think, for 4T, and a few more extra rows than that. You know, like I said, 6 extra rows. Maybe if you have your child to try it on, that would be the best thing to do. And use a size I 5.5 millimeter, because other than that it's gonna fit pretty good, I think. So, oh, and I also use a little bit of white. It's the same brand, Care On, but I just use it for a little bit of trim. So let's go ahead and get started on it. Okay, you want to start off with a chain of 64, and that's regardless of what size hook you use. The whole pattern is going to be the same. So you get your chain of 64 done, and what we're going to do is put 1 double crochet in the 4th stitch from the hook. So 1, 2, 3, 4. I apologize for the dark yarn, but sailors' dresses are always, most of the time, blue. So in the 4th stitch from the hook, and then we're going to put 1 double crochet in each of the next 8 stitches. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And now what we're going to do is do a chain of 2, 1 and 2, and now we're going to put 1 double crochet into the next 14 stitches. So just go right into the next stitch, and that'll be number 1, and you want to do 14. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oops. Okay, once you get your 14 stitches there, now you want to chain 2 again, and starting in the next stitch, we're going to put 1 double crochet again in the next 14 stitches. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, once you get your 14 stitches done again, we're going to repeat that again by chaining 2, and in the next stitch 1 double crochet, and then 1 double crochet in each of the next 1 double crochet in 14 stitches. So this will be our first one. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, once you got your 14 stitches again, we're going to chain 2, and now what we're going to do is we're going to put 1 double crochet in each of the remaining stitches. You should have 10 stitches left, so 1 double crochet into the last 10 stitches. Okay, once you make it to the end of row 1, you can look and see what we got here. We have the 10 stitches on the end, chain 2, 14 with the chain 2, 14, chain 2, 14, chain 2, and then we did the 8. We'll have 10 total here on the end. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and that's the one that the 9th one is the one we double crocheted in the 4th stitch from the hook, and then this little chain here at the end counts as our 10th stitch. So we got 10 on each of the ends and 14 in between each of the other ones. So you should have a total of 62 stitches at the end of round 1. Okay, for round 2, I'm going to chain 1 and I'm going to turn my work. Now I'm going to put 1 double crochet right back into that very first stitch. Now if you prefer to chain 3 instead of doing it this way, that is fine too. I know a lot of people chain 3 instead of doing it and making that their double crochet instead of doing it this way, and either way will work just fine. I'm going to chain 1 and double crochet right back into the same stitch, and now I'm going to put 1 double crochet in each of the next 9 stitches. One, 2, 3, 'Kay, there's 9. Now counting that very first double crochet, you'll have 10 there. Now we're going to be working in this chain 2 space, and what we're going to do is we're going to put 2 double crochets right into the space. There's 1 and 2, and then we're going to chain 2, and then we're going to go back into the same space and put 2 more double crochets. Just like that. So it was 2 doubles, chain 2, and 2 doubles into that chain space. And now we're going to work 1 double crochet into the next 14 stitches, and it'll be till you get to your next chain space. And you want to make sure you get this very first stitch, pull these over, because sometimes it hides. So 1 double crochet into the next 14 stitches. Okay, I just did my 14th stitch and I'm at my next chain 2 space, and what I'm going to do is put my 2 double crochets, 1 and 2, chain 2, and 2 more doubles right into that same space, just like that. And again, I'm going to work 1 double crochet into the next 14 stitches, and then I'll be at my next chain 2 space. Okay, I've made it to my next chain 2 space, and again in my chain 2 I'm going to put 2 doubles, chain 2, and 2 more doubles, and then I'm going to put 1 double crochet in each of the next 14 stitches, or until I get to my next chain 2 space. Okay, I've made it to my next, or my last chain 2 space here. I'm going to put 2 doubles, a chain of 2, and then 2 more double crochets into that same spot. And now I'm going to put 1 double crochet into the last 10 stitches. You'll have 10 left. Okay, when you make it to the end, your 10th stitch is going to go into this little chain here on the end. So just go right into the top of it for your last stitch. And you should have a total of 78 stitches, and then you'll have your 4 chain 2 spaces at the end of round, or row 2. In row 3, I'm going to chain 1 and turn my work, working 1 double crochet right back into the very first stitch, like that. And now I'm going to work 1 double crochet into the next 11 stitches. So counting this one, we'll have a total of 12. Okay, I've made it to the first chain 2 space. And again, I'm going to put 2 double crochets. That's 1, 2, a chain of 2, and 2 more double crochets all into the same chain space. Now I'm going to put 1 double crochet into the next 18 stitches. It'll be 18 stitches until you get to your next chain 2 space. So go ahead and start. Okay, I made it to my next chain 2 space, and I'm going to go into it and I'm going to put 2 doubles, chain 2, and 2 more doubles. And again, I'm going to put 1 double crochet into my next 18 stitches, which will take me to my next chain 2 space. Okay, next chain 2 space, 2 doubles, chain 2, and 2 more doubles. And again, 1 double crochet into the next 18 stitches, which will bring you to your next chain 2 space. Okay, I've made it to my last chain 2 space, and I'm going to go into it and put 2 double crochets, chain 2, and 2 more double crochets. And now I'm going to go ahead and put 1 double crochet into my last 12 stitches. You should have 12 stitches left. So go ahead and put 1 double crochet in each of those. Okay, I've made it to the end, and now at the end of row 3 you should have a total of 94 stitches plus your 4 chain 2 spaces. So I'm going to chain 1 and turn my work, and I'm going to put 1 double crochet right back into that same stitch, very first one, and now I'm going to put 1 double crochet into the next 13 stitches. Counting this one, it'll be 14. So this would be number 1. And there'd be 2, 3, 4. Okay, I made it to my first chain 2 space, so I'm going to do 2 doubles, chain 2, and 2 more doubles. And now I'm going to put 1 double crochet in each of the next 22 stitches, which will bring me to my next chain 2 space. Okay, I made it to my next chain 2 space. Go on into it and put 2 double crochets, chain 2, and 2 more double crochets into that same spot. And now again, it's 1 double crochet in these next 22 stitches until you get to your next chain 2 space. Okay, next chain 2 space, 2 doubles. So this has been a pretty easy pattern so far. Chain 2, 2 more doubles, one double crochet now into the next 22 stitches again until you reach your next chain 2 spot. Okay, I have made it to my last chain 2 space, so I'm going to do my chain 2 double crochets, sorry, chain 2 and 2 doubles. And now I'm going to go ahead and put 1 double crochet in these last 14 stitches until I get to the end here. Okay, I've made it to the end of row 4, and you should have a total of 110 stitches now. So we're going to chain 1 and turn. Now we're going to start row 5, and we're going to start it the same way by double crocheting right back into the very first stitch. And now you should have, counting this one, 16 stitches until you get to your first chain space. So you want to double crochet in all of them. This counts as number 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, I made it to my first chain 2 space, and I'm going to put 2 doubles, chain 2, and 2 more doubles. So now what I'm going to do is 1 double crochet in the next 26 stitches until I get to my next chain 2 space. And then when I get there, I'm going to put 2 doubles, chain 2, 2 doubles, and then it'll be 26 stitches again until you get to your next chain 2 space. It's 2 doubles, chain 2, 2 doubles, and then 26 stitches one more time until you get to your last chain 2 space, and I'll meet you here at the last chain 2 space. So there's 26 stitches in between each of these chain 2 spaces, and you make sure and put your 2 double crochet, chain 2, 2 double crochet in each of the chain corner spaces. Okay, I've made it all the way around to my last chain 2 space. I'm going to go ahead and put 2 doubles, chain 2, and 2 more doubles in that space. And now I'm going to go ahead and put 1 double crochet in the remaining 16 stitches. Okay, when you make it to the end of row 5, you should have a total of 126 stitches all the way around. And this is what it starts to look like. Now, it's going to button in the front, so it's going to have a little bit of an overlap, a 3-stitch overlap. 3 stitches on this side and 3 stitches on this side. So, and that's where the buttons are going to be. And this will be the back. Okay, but now we're going to make the armholes. So, row 6. We're going to start by chaining 1 and turning our work. Now we're going to put 1 double crochet right back into that very first stitch, and we want to put 1 double crochet in the first 18 stitches. So this counts as number 1. So we'll go ahead and do the rest of them, and then that'll take us to our first chain 2 space. Okay, our first 18 stitches brought us to our first chain 2 space. Now what we're going to do in this first chain 2 space is we're just going to put 2 double crochets in it, and that's it. Just 2 double crochets. And now we're going to skip all these stitches until our next chain 2 space, and it should be a total of 30 stitches that you're skipping. So what you do is you just kind of fold it and come right over here to this next chain 2 space, and we're going to put 2 double crochets into this space. So there's 1 and 2. So that formed our first armhole, those 30 stitches that we skipped. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and put 1 double crochet in each of these 30 stitches here, and that'll bring us to the next chain 2 space. So this chain 2 space only got 2 double crochets. That's it, nothing else. And now we're just going to continue putting 1 double crochet in every stitch until we get to our next chain space. Okay, I did my 30 stitches there across the front, and I'm at my next chain 2 space, and again I'm only going to put 2 double crochets in there, and that's it, just 2 double crochets. And now I'm going to skip these next 30 stitches to my next chain 2 space. So I'm going to fold it over, and I'm going to put 2 double crochets into that next chain 2 space. So I'm skipping all those stitches, and I'm just going to put 2 doubles into that space. That's it, nothing else, 2 doubles. And that was our second armhole formed. And now I'm just going to finish out by putting 1 double crochet in the remaining 18 stitches. So that was pretty easy. Armholes are pretty easy to do. Okay, you should have 74 stitches at the end of row 6, and there is your armholes formed. Now what we're going to do is chain 1 and turn. Now I'm going to do 3 rows of just putting 1 double crochet in every stitch. And it should be 74 stitches at the end of each of them rows. We're not counting these 30 that we skipped. We're just counting along them. So these we'll come back to later. We're not going to do nothing with them right now. So I'm going to go ahead and put 1 double crochet back into that first stitch. And then 1 double crochet in every stitch until I get to the other side. Apologize, my lighting's not the best. I'm trying to get new lighting, but it's not cheap, so trying to save up for it. So just like this. And when you make it here to where your armhole spaces are, you just put 1 double crochet in the stitches right along. You'll be able to see them real good. See, it's just, we're not doing anything with these stitches up here. It's just like that. It's just 1 double in every stitch until you get to the other side. Okay, I made it to the end of row 7 of just putting 1 double crochet in every stitch. And again, I'm just going to chain 1 and turn, and I'm going to repeat that 2 more times. So rows 7, 8, and 9 are just going to be 1 double crochet in every stitch, and you'll have 74 stitches at the end of each one of those rows. Rows 7, 8, and 9, 1 double crochet every stitch, 74 stitches at the end of each row. So I'm going to go ahead and I just finished row 7, I'm on row 8, and then I'm going to finish row 9, and then we'll start row 10. Okay, I just finished row 9. So I had my 7, 8, and 9, which is just 1 double crochet in every stitch, and it was 74 stitches at the end of every row. Okay, for row 10, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to increase a little bit so the bottom of the dress looks a little fuller and not just straight down. So I'm going to chain 1 and turn my work, starting on row 10 now. And I'm going to put 1 double crochet into the very first stitch, and I'm going to put 1 double crochet into the next 2 stitches, like that. So those 3 stitches are my buttonhole row that we talked about earlier. So now I'm going to start a repeat of increasing. So I'm going to put 1 double crochet into the next stitch. So actually it's 1 double crochet into the first 4. But this first double crochet count starts as a repeat. And then I'm going to put 2 double crochets into the next. 2 into the same stitch. And then 1 double crochet into the next stitch, and then 2 double crochets into the next, 1 double into the next stitch, and 2 doubles into the next, 1 double into the next stitch, and 2 doubles into the next. And that's the repeat we're going to repeat. 1 double and then 2 doubles. We're going to repeat this all the way across until we get to our last 3 stitches over here. So I'm going to repeat this, the 1 double, 2 double, 1 double, 2 double, all the way across until I get to my last 3. And I'll meet you over here at the last 3 stitches. Okay, I've made it to my last 3 stitches. My last stitch was 2 double crochets, And then there's 3 stitches left. I'm just going to put 1 double crochet in each of those. Now you should have a total of 108 stitches now at the end of round 10. Okay, what we're going to do for row 11 is we're just going to repeat row 10. So we're just going to chain 1, turn our work, and we're going to put 1 double crochet in these first 3. So the very first one, we're just repeating what we did on row 10. And then we start our repeat by 1 double crochet into the next stitch, and then 2 double crochets into the next. One double into the next, and then 2 into the next. So it's just a repeat of the last row, and you repeat that 1 double, 2 double, 1 2 double, 2 double until you get to your last 3 stitches. And when you get to your last 3 stitches, it's just 1 double crochet in each of those. So just repeat row 10. Okay, at the end of row 11, you should have 159 stitches. And now we're not going to increase anymore. What we're going to do is chain 1 and turn. And now it's just going to be 1 double crochet in every stitch. So we'll just put 1 double crochet. We're always going to chain 1 and turn, put 1 double crochet into the same stitch, and then 1 double crochet in every stitch. We're starting row 12 now. And we're going to do this 1 double crochet in every stitch for 20 till we reach 21 rows. I'm on 12 now. So actually it's 10 solid rows of 1 double crochet in every stitch. And when you get to the end, you should have 159 double crochets at the end of each row. So I'm on row 12, 1 double crochet in every stitch, 159 stitches at the end of each row. And okay, all together you want to have from where you started all the way down 24 rows of stitches. So we started with number 1 and you count all the way down to 24. It's actually 13 rows of the 1 double crochet in every stitch, and then the total one's up here. So 24 total. And what I did is I'm going to switch colors now, and so I tied off. Now if you can switch colors without tying off, that's fine. I always tie off when I switch colors, but I'm going to bring in a row of white now, and I'm going to do the same thing. So I'm going to go ahead and turn my work, and I'm going to start the yarn in the same stitch, and I'm just going to do a row of white double crochet. Now you can change colors however often that you want. You don't have to do it just like me, but I'm going to chain 1 and I'm going to go back in that same stitch and double crochet, and I'm going to work 1 double crochet in every stitch of the white. So this is row 25 now, and I'm going to work this to the end, and then I'm going to switch colors back to my blue. Now remember, you can do color changes wherever you want, but you want to have a total of 29 rows when you get done. And this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to do my row of white, which is row 25, and then I'm going to switch to the blue, turn my work. 1 row of blue will be row 26, and then I'm going to switch to the white, turn my work. Row 27 will be white, then I'm going to switch to the blue, and I'm going to do 2 rows of blue. So that'll be 29 total. So it'll be white, blue, white, blue, blue. That's what I'm going to do, and then from top to the bottom I'll have 29. But you can switch and make your lines however many. If you want to make white line, 3 white lines, you can. If you want to make it all blue, it's up to you. But that's what I'm going to go ahead and finish doing until I get to my 29 rows. Okay, once you get your 29 rows done, you want to go ahead and put your work right side out. Right side out would be where your rows of white double crochet are facing the right side up. See here, they're facing the right side, and when I flip it, you can clearly see that's the wrong side, and that just don't look that good. So face them where they're facing the right side up. And now what we're going to do is we're going to start right up here, and we're going to go down the whole side and then around the whole bottom, back to the opposite side, and back up to here. And we're going to do that all in single crochet just to clean up all the edges. I'm not going to go around the collar at this time. I'm going to do the collar later, because you know the collar on a sailor dress is probably the most important part of it, I guess. It's what makes the dress. So I'm going to start right up here. In this first stitch. And I'm going to start my yarn. For every row a double crochet, I'm going to put 2 single crochets in every one of these doubles. So I'm just going to start right up here in the top stitch. And I'm going to chain 1. The only time I'm not going to put 2 is in this first stitch and then the last stitch. I'll just put 1 in each of those. But I chained 1. Now I'm going to come over here to the first part of it and single crochet. Now I'm going to the next double crochet row, and I kind of just go right in between the double crochet and do a single crochet, and then I'm going to do another one kind of in between that same double crochet. Just do the best you can to get 2 single crochets to every double. Now I'm going to go to the next row, kind of go right in between, single, the next one, and there's 2 singles in that double. And all this is going to do is clean up the rows. Just kind of evenly space them out. 2 singles to every double. And that makes the edge nice and straight. Okay, once you've made it all the way down this first side and you're at this corner. Now when I said 2 singles to every double, that doesn't have to be, you don't have to be exact on that. Just try to do your best to evenly space out the single crochet. But what I'm going to do now is when I turn the corner, this first stitch up here, I'm going to put 3 single crochets into that. 1, 2, 3, and now I'm going to work 1 single crochet in every stitch along the bottom, and you'll be able to see these stitches. Just like that. And doing 3 in that corner just kind of helps it to lay a little flat. So I'm going to keep going around until I get to the other side, and I'll meet you over here at this corner. Okay, I made it to the other corner here, and now I'm just going to put 3 single crochets here in this last stitch to make it go around the corner a little better. And now I'm going to continue working my 2 single crochets to every double up this opposite side here until I get to the top. And remember, that doesn't have to be exact. Just do the best you can to kind of space them out. I know it's kind of hard to see exactly where they're supposed to go, but do your best. Just like that. So I'm going to keep working until I get up to the top. Okay, when you make it all the way up here to the top and you're ready to do your last single crochet in this double crochet here, instead of doing a single crochet, just slip stitch into it like that and then tie that off. Now we didn't go in any of these stitches around the top. We're going to do that later. But just go ahead and tie that off and you can hide that tail. So now we got the edges all cleaned up so we can sew the buttons on later. Okay, now we'll get started on the collar. Okay, for the collar you want the right side of your work facing you and the top to face you like this. When we're going to start right over here and work this way. So we're going to start, I'm going to start with my blue yarn. Now remember, you can use any color that you want. And you can make the collar white if you want to, but I'm going to start up here in the first stitch of the collar. And I'm going to chain 1. And now I'm going to put a single crochet in every stitch until I get to this first chain 2 spot up here of the collar. It's actually 9 single crochets. So you put 1 slip stitch and then 9 single crochets. And now what I'm going to do, I'm going to continue just going into the next stitch, and I'm going to put half double into that one. Into the next. I actually want to do 10 half double crochets in a row. So that was 1, 2. Here's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. And now I'm going to do 4 double crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4. And now we should be at that chain 2 spot. And we are. What I'm going to do now is put 2 double crochet, chain 2, and 2 double crochet through this chain space. We didn't do anything with that first chain space that we passed. We just left that be. But this one, we're going to put through the space 2 double crochet, chain 2, and then 2 more double crochet. And then starting with your next stitch, and make sure you pull this back and you get this very first stitch right there, because sometimes it hides. We're going to put 1 double crochet in each stitch until we get to the next chain 2 spot. So it's actually going to be 14 double crochets across here until you get to this chain, this next chain 2 space. So I've already done 3. Okay, there's 14, and now I'm at my chain 2 space, and again I'm going to go into it and I'm going to do 2 double crochet, chain 2, and 2 more double crochet, just like that. Okay, now 1 double crochet into the next 4 stitches. Remember to pull that back and get this very first stitch. Sometimes it hides and you gotta make sure you get that. So 4 double crochets. Now there's 1, 2, 3, 4. Now we're going to do 10 half double crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10, and now we're at that chain space. We're not going to do anything with this one. We're just going to single crochet. Now 9 single crochets. 1, 2, 3. Okay, I did my 9, and now when you get to the last one right here, you just want to slip stitch into that. Like that, and that'll end row 1 of the collar. And now we're going to chain 1 and turn our work. Now we're going to do a single crochet decrease. We're going to skip this first slip stitch and single crochet decrease over the next 2 stitches. So skip this slip stitch here and go into this stitch and drop a loop, and then go into the next one and drop a loop and yarn over and go through all 3 loops, and that's a single crochet decrease. And now I'm going to put 1 single crochet in the next 7 stitches. So 1 single into the next 7. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1 half double into the next 10. Okay, there's 10 half doubles. Now we're going to put 1 double crochet in the next 6 double crochets. Double crochets. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And now we're at our chain 2 space, and we're going to put 2 double crochet, chain 2, and 2 double crochet through that space. See, we only are working in the back 2 spaces. The other 2 front spaces, we just skipped them completely. So 2 doubles, chain 2, 2 more doubles, and now we're going to put 1 double crochet. Remember to pull this back and get this first one into the next. There should be 18 stitches here until you get to the next chain 2 space. So 1 double crochet in each of those. Okay, I did the 18 doubles and now I'm at my next chain 2 space, so I'm going to put 2 doubles, chain 2, and 2 more doubles into that space. I apologize if I'm off camera a little bit there. Now it's 1 double crochet into the next six stitches. There's 6, and now 1 half double crochet into the next 10 stitches. Okay, there's 10 half doubles. Now it's going to be 1 single crochet into the next 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1 single crochet decrease over these 2 here. 1, and go into it and drop a loop. Go into the next one, drop a loop, yarn over, go through all 3, and then we just will not put anything into that last single crochet. We'll just skip it. Okay, now we're going to, for row 3 of the collar, we're going to chain 1 and turn. Okay, I know the collar's a little weird. Okay, now we're going to put a single crochet decrease over the first 2 stitches. So go in the first one, drop a loop, go into the next one, drop a loop, yarn over, and go through all 3 stitches. Now we're going to put 1 single crochet in the next 6 stitches. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and now we're going to put half double crochet into the next 10 stitches. So there's 1, 2, 3. Okay, there's 10 half double crochets, and now we're going to put 1 double crochet into the next 8 until we reach our next chain, or our first chain 2 space here. So double crochets. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now it's chain 2, or 2 double crochets, chain 2, 2 double crochets into the space. So there's 2 doubles, chain 2, and 2 doubles. And now it's 1 double crochet in all these stitches until you get to your next chain 2 space, and there should be 22 there. So a double in each of them. Okay, I've made it. I did my 22 double crochets and I made it to my next chain 2 space, so I'm going to do 2 doubles. Chain 2 and 2 more doubles. And now I'm going to put 1 double crochet, working along this side over here, in the next 8 stitches. Maybe get this first one here. 1 double in the next 8. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and now there's 8. Now 1 half double into the next 10. Okay, I did my 10 half double, 1 single into the next 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then you got 2 stitches here, and you want to single crochet decrease over those last 2. So go into the next one, drop a loop, and then go into the next one, drop a loop, yarn over, and go through all 3. Now we're going to chain 1 and turn, and we're going to start on row 4 of the collar. Okay, we're going to single crochet decrease over the first 2 stitches. So go in, drop a loop, go into the next one, drop a loop, yarn over, go through the first 3 or all 3 loops, 1 single crochet into the next 5. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and now we're going to put 1 single crochet in, or 1 half double crochet into the next 10. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, I just did my 10 half double crochets. Now I'm going to put 1 double crochet in each of these 10 double crochets till I get to my first chain 2 space, doubles now. I am sorry if I go off camera there. I can't see looking into the camera. I can't see very well, so I have to look over it, and sometimes I get off camera. Okay, there's 10. Now we're at our chain 2 space. So we're going to put our 2 double crochet, chain 2, 2 double crochet. So there's 2 doubles, chain 2, 2 more doubles into that chain 2 space. Now I'm going to put 1 double crochet in each of these stitches till I get to my next chain 2 space, and there should be 26 double crochets there across. So 1 double in each of these until you get to your next chain 2 space. Okay, that was my 26 double crochets, and I made it to my next chain 2 space, so I'm going to put 2 doubles, chain 2, and 2 more doubles. And now I'm going to put 1 double crochet in each of the next 10 stitches, 1 double in the next 10, and then 1 half double into the next 10. Got 1 more double there. Okay, 1 half double into the next 10. Okay, there's my 10 half doubles, 1 single crochet into the next 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and then there'll be 2 stitches left. Go ahead and single crochet decrease over the last 2, so go into the next and drop a loop, and then go into the last, drop a loop, yarn over and go through all 3. Now I'm going to switch colors here, so I'm going to clip my yarn off. That's just how I do it, but if you want to switch colors the other way, that's fine. I'm going to go ahead and turn my work, and I'm going to start with my white now. I'm going to do a row of white. So I'm going to start where I left off. I turned my work, make sure you turn your work, and I'm going to start in that stitch that I just slip stitched in, this stitched into right here, this first one. Okay, and then I'm going to chain 1. Now I'm going to go back into it, and I'm going to single crochet decrease over these first 2. This one being my first one. So I'm going to go right back into it and drop a loop, and then go into the next one, drop a loop, and yarn over and go through all 3 loops like that. Now I'm going to put 1 single crochet into the next 4 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 half double crochet into the next 10 stitches, half doubles into the next 10, okay, I did my 10 half doubles. Now I'm going to do 1 half double crochet into the next 12. I'm sorry, 1 double crochet. I'm sorry, 1 double crochet into the next 12 until I get to my first chain 2 space here. So 1 double crochet in each stitch until I get to my chain 2 space. Okay, I've made it to my first space, and it's 2 double crochets, chain 2, and 2 more double crochets, back into that same spot. Now it's 1 double crochet in every stitch across until you get to your next chain 2 space, and there should be 30 stitches here. So 1 double crochet into the next 30 until you reach your next chain 2 space. Okay, I did my 30 double crochets. Now I'm going to do 2 double crochets, chain 2, and 2 double crochets into the same spot. And now it's 1 double crochet into the next 12, okay, 1 double crochet into that 12. Now I'm going to do 1 half double crochet into the next 10. 1, 2, 3. Okay, there's my 10 half double. Now it's 1 single crochet into the next 4. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, and you'll have 2 stitches left to single crochet decrease over. So go into the next one, drop a loop, and the last one, drop a loop, yarn over, and go through all 3. And I'm going to tie off, change colors. I'm going to go back to my blue. I'm going to turn my work. Make sure you turn your work. Got to want to make sure your stitches are facing right. Start my yarn right there where I left off, right there in that spot. I'm going to chain 1, and I'm going to single crochet decrease over these first 2 stitches. So I'm going to go back into that stitch and drop a loop. Now I'm going to go into the next one and drop a loop, yarn over, and go through all 3. Now I'm going to put 1 single crochet into the next 3 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 1 half double crochet into the next 10, okay, there's 10 half doubles, and now I'm going to put 1 double crochet in each of these stitches until I get to this chain 2 space, and there should be 14. So 1 double crochet into the next 14 stitches. Okay, I'm at my chain 2 space. I'm going to put 2 double crochets, chain 2, and then 2 more double crochets. And now I'm going to put 1 double crochet in each stitch here until I get to my chain 2 space over here, and there should be 34. So 1 double crochet in every stitch till I get to my next chain 2 space. Okay, I've made it to my next chain 2 space, so it's 2 double crochets, chain 2, 2 more double crochets. Now you probably know what's coming next, but now it's 1 double crochet into the next 14 stitches. Okay, there's 14 doubles. Now it's 1 half double crochet into the next 10. One single crochet into the next 3. 1, 2, 3, and then 1 single crochet decrease over these last 2. So go in, drop a loop, go into the last one, drop a loop, yarn over, go through all 3, and I'm going to tie off here, change colors one more time. Almost done with the color. Just a couple more rows. Okay, you want to make sure you turn your work. It's very important that you turn your work so your white rows are facing right side up. Okay, and I'm just going to start my yarn into that stitch that I just tied off in. And I'm going to chain 1, and I'm going to single crochet decrease over the first 2. So I'm going to go back into that same stitch and draw up a loop, and I'm going to go into the next one and draw up a loop and yarn over and go through all 3. Now I'm going to put 1 single crochet into the next 2 stitches, 1 and 2, and then 1 half double crochet into the next 10, which you probably already knew that, but oops. So 1 half double into the next 10. There's 10. Now it's 1 double crochet in every stitch until we get to the chain space, and there should be 16 this time until you get to this space. So 1 double crochet in each stitch until you get to the next, or your first chain 2 space. Okay, I've made it to my chain 2 space, so I'm going to put 2 doubles, chain 2, 2 more doubles, and now I'm going to put 1 double crochet in every stitch until I get to my next chain 2 space, and there should be 40 stitches. So 1 double in every stitch until you get to your next chain space. Okay, I made it to my next chain 2, so it's 2 doubles. Chain 2 and 2 more doubles. 1 double after this, it's 1 double crochet into the next 16 stitches. Okay, I did my 16 double. Now it's 1 half double into the next 10. There's 10, 1 double or 1 single into the next 2. There's 1, 2, and then 1 single crochet decrease over these last 2. So go in, drop a loop, go into the last one, drop a loop, yarn over, go through all 3, change colors, 1 more row now. And don't worry, we will clean up these edges. I know they're kind of rough, but I want to make sure you turn your work. And I'm going to go with my blue one more time. And I'm going to start it in the same spot that I just ended in. And I'm going to chain 1. And I'm going to go into that same stitch and drop a loop. And then I'm going to go into the next one and drop a loop. So single crochet decrease over those first 2, 1 single crochet into the next, and now it's 1 half double into the next 10. Just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and now there's 10, and now it's 1 double crochet in every stitch until you get to your chain 2 space, and there should be 18 stitches, so 18 double crochets. Okay, I've made it to my chain space. Now I'm going to put 2 doubles, chain 2, 2 more doubles, and now it's 1 double crochet in every stitch until you get to your next chain 2 space, and there should be 44 stitches. So 1 double crochet into the next 44. Okay, I haven't made it to my next chain 2 space. It's 2 doubles, chain 2, and 2 more doubles. And now it's 1 double crochet into the next 18 stitches. And then it's going to be 1 half double crochet into the next 10. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. 1 double into the next 18, and then 1 half double into the next 10. So I did my 1 double crochet in my next 18, 1 half double in my next 10. I have 3 stitches left. I want a single crochet in the next, and then single crochet decrease over the last 2. So go in, drop a loop, go into the last one, drop a loop, yarn over, go through all 3, tie this off. Now what I'm going to do is take a moment and hide all these tails real quick that I have hanging. Okay, now I'm going to put an edge around the collar. So I got my dress laid with the top facing me. I have it laid out how it would look. You know, the collar's laid down right. This is the right side. That would be the wrong. So I have it flipped up how it would be. Now where I'm going to start is right here on this side. And you can see right here is the row of single crochet that we did before. I'm going to start into that first single crochet that we did. And I'm going to chain 1. Now I'm going to jump to the next space and do a single crochet like that. And then the next one, you're not going to really be able to see the spaces that well. Just do the best that you can to evenly space out the single crochets up the side of the collar. You can only do the best that you can because it's very hard to tell where they go. And just kind of evenly space them out. Even I have trouble telling where they go. All the way up the side of the collar. Sometimes they're hard to get into the right spot. And then once you reach up here, kind of the curve, you just keep doing 1 single crochet in every stitch. There's no, you don't have to put more in a corner or anything. So just keep following the curve around. 1 single in every stitch until you get to your first chain 2 space. And that just kind of cleaned up that edge a little bit. Okay, when I made it to my first chain 2 space, all I'm going to do is put 2 single crochets through that space, a chain of 2, and 2 more single crochets. And now I'm going to continue working, putting 1 single crochet in every stitch until I get to my next chain 2 space. When I get to my next chain 2 space, I'll just work 2 singles, a chain 2, and 2 singles, and then I'll just continue working down 1 single crochet in every stitch, and then just kind of evenly space out 1 single crochet along this side here until you get back over here to your first single crochet, and I'll meet you up over there of the edging. Okay, once you've made it all the way around and back down your other side here, you just want to end it by slip stitching into that first single crochet of the edging on this side. And slip stitch into that, tie it off, hide that tail, and then we will do the sleeves. Okay, let's get these sleeves done so we can be done with the dress here. Okay, here's where we're going to start. Right here, you can see these 2 chain 2 spaces. I'm going to start in the first chain space. Start your yarn and chain 1. Now both sleeves are going to be made the exact same. In fact, I already have one of them done. So I'm going to show you this one real quick. Now we're going to go ahead and double crochet right back into that same stitch. So that's 1. Now right here on the side there is a double crochet that you can see here on the side. Put one double crochet just kind of through that double crochet. So there's two. And then we're going to put one right here. See this double crochet? We're going to put one in that little space above it. That's three. And then this crochet here, one in that little space above it, so the space next to the one you just did. That's four. And now we come to the side of this double crochet. Just put one kind of right in the side somewhere, kind of just anywhere just that you can get it through the side of that double. So that's five. And then our next one is going to go right here into the next chain space. Right through this space. So it was the chain space, one in the side of the double, one in the next little hole and the next little hole, and then one in the side of the double, and then one in the chain space. Now it's going to be one in each of these 30 stitches that we skipped. So one in each. Make sure you get this first one, slide that over. So it's one in the remaining 30 stitches. So you'll have a total of 36 double crochets when you get back around to the other side on the first round of the sleeve. Okay, once you make it back around and you got your 36 double crochets on your first round of the sleeve, go ahead and end it with a slip stitch into your first double crochet. Now we're going to chain one, and we're going to work 2 double crochets back into that same first stitch. So this is round 2 of the sleeves, and we're going to work 2 double crochets in each stitch of the sleeve, 2 in each one, until we get back around to the beginning. So 2 double crochets in every stitch around, and when you get back around at the end of round 2, you should have a total of 72 stitches. Okay, once you make it around, on row 2 of the sleeve you want to slip stitch into your first double crochet, and remember you should have 72 stitches now. Now what we're going to do is we're going to chain one, and we're going to go back into that same stitch and double crochet, and we're just going to work 1 double crochet this time around in every single stitch. 1 double in every stitch all the way around for round 3. And I know the sleeve looks really big and floppy right now, but it will look better at the end. I promise. It's all big, looking like a big bell kind of, but go ahead and work 1 double crochet in every stitch around, and at the end of round 3 here you still should have 72 stitches when you get back around. Okay, once you make it back around at the end of round 3, go ahead and slip stitch into your first double crochet, 72 stitches now. Okay, for row 4 what we're going to do is chain 1 and put 1 double crochet back into that same stitch. Now we're going to do a double crochet decrease over the next 2 stitches. So we're going to yarn over and go into the next stitch and draw up a loop, yarn over and go through those first 2 loops. Then we're going to yarn over and go into the next stitch, draw up a loop, yarn over and go through the first 2 loops, and then yarn over and go through all 3. And that's a double crochet decrease that took those 2 stitches and made it into 1. Now I'm just going to put 1 regular double crochet into the next, and then a double crochet decrease over the next 2. So again, I'm going to yarn over and go into the next stitch, draw up a loop, yarn over and go through the first 2 loops on my hook, yarn over and go into the next stitch, draw up a loop, yarn over and go through the first 2 loops on my hook, and yarn over and go through all 3. 1 regular double crochet into the next, and then a double crochet decrease over the next 2. So into the next, yarn over and go into the next one, drop a loop, yarn over, go through the first 2, yarn over and go into the next, drop a loop, yarn over and go through the first 2, and yarn over and go through all 3. So that's the repeat this time around. 1 double crochet into the next, and then a double crochet decrease. One double crochet, and then a double crochet decrease. And you want to repeat that all the way around. 1 double crochet, 1 double crochet decrease until you get back to your starting point. And when you get back around, you should have a total of 48 stitches at the end of round 4. Okay, once you make it back around at the end of row 4 and you have your 48 stitches, go ahead and slip stitch into your first double crochet. For round 5, we're going to chain 1, and we're just going to repeat round 4. So we're going to put 1 double crochet back in that same stitch, and then we're going to do a double crochet decrease. And then we're going to do 1 double crochet, and then a double crochet decrease. So we're just repeating the row we did before. Double crochet decrease all the way around till you get back to the beginning, and you should have a total of 32 stitches at the end of round 5. Okay, once you make it around at the end of row 5 and you have your 32 stitches, go ahead and slip stitch into your first double crochet. Now for round 6, what we're going to do is chain 1, and we're going to do decreases in every stitch. So we're going to yarn over and go right back into that same stitch and drop a loop, yarn over and go through that first 2 loops, and then in the next stitch draw up a loop, yarn over, drop a loop, yarn over, go through the first 2, and yarn over and go through all 3. And then I'm going to do a double crochet decrease again, yarn over, go in the next stitch, drop a loop, yarn over, go through the first 2 loops, yarn over, go into the next stitch, drop a loop, yarn over, go through the first 2, yarn over and go through all 3. So it's just double crochet decreases in all the way around, and they're worked over 2 stitches. And you want to make sure you get them nice and tight, and make sure you don't go in the same stitch twice too. Sometimes that may look like it hasn't been worked when you start to go into it, but it has. It's just pulling to the side, so make sure you go into the next one. So it's just double crochet decreases all the way around, and when you get back around you should have 16 stitches at the end of round 6. Okay, once you make it back around and you got your 16 stitches, go ahead and slip stitch into your first half double crochet decrease there. Now what we're going to do is put, it looks a little small, but don't worry, it'll get a little bit bigger because we're going to do ruffling around the edges, and that'll make it look a little bit wider, or make it get a little bit wider. So I'm going to chain 1. I'm going to go back into that same stitch, and I'm going to work 4 half double crochets into the same first stitch. So there's 2, 3, and 4. Now I'm going to work 4 half double crochets in every single stitch all the way around, and that's going to create just a little ruffle around the edge, and it'll also make the hole a little bit bigger so it's not so, I know it seems tight, but go into the next one and work 4 half doubles. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 into the next, 1, 2, 3, 4, all the way around until you get back to the beginning. Okay, when you make it back around, you should have a total of 64 half double crochets. Go ahead and end it with the slip stitch in your first one. Tie off, and then you can hide that tail and any remaining tails that you have. Okay, that's it on the crochet. That's all done. Here's what it kind of starts to look like there. Now, I already sewed my buttons on, so they're really easy. All you want to do is evenly space 5 buttons down the bottom. I didn't put any down here on the rows of white. I started my first button, 1, 2, 3, on the third row down, and then I skipped 4 and started put another one, skipped 4 and put another one, skipped 4 and put another one, until I had 5 buttons on here. And then you just come on over and they just will hook to these double crochets over here on the other side. So that's it. You can use yarn to sew your buttons on, or a regular thread and needle. It's up to you. But that's it. Now, if you want to crochet a bow, you can do that. I have this one that I bought, so I'm just gonna, it has the clip. I bought a red one. Okay, so I want to use red and a white one. And that'll just clip right up here whenever Evelyn wants to wear it. After she gets it on, I'll just clip it right up here. And that'll be it. That's all there is to it. I hope you enjoy my tutorial. Remember, you can just crochet your own bow if you can't, or you can make your own bow out of ribbon. That's completely up to you. You can get this little headband that I got to, or a little hair bow that I got to. But that's it. That's all there is to it. Don't forget to like and subscribe. If you need the pattern for this, you can check out the link below to my Etsy shop. It'll be available there. Don't forget, if you make this or anything else, you can post a picture on my Facebook page. I'd really love to see a picture of it. I'll put a link to that below in the description box too. And until next time, have a good day.